Hey YouTube, Maxzy 2021 here, coming at you with another manga discussions video. This time I'm going to be taking a look at Karakuri Doji Ultimo, or just Ultimo, since I don't think anybody refers to it by the full name. But since I never hear anybody talking about this, and I just finished reading it earlier today, I figured, why not do a video on it? So, yeah, that's what we'll be talking about. It was published in Jump Square from February 2009 to October 2015. I don't remember when the English release started, but Volume 12 came out sometime in 2016. I think December 2016. Anyways, it was done by, Stan Lee came up with the original concept, and Hiroyuki Takei did the story and the art. I'm guessing that most people are familiar with who Stan Lee is, so I'm not really going to say much on him. As for Hiroyuki Takei, anybody that is familiar with who he is will most likely know about his other very popular, successful work, Shaman King. As far as I'm aware, Shaman King and Ultimo are the only series that he's done that have gotten official English releases. I don't know if anything else he's done has been released in English, or if they've ever gotten translated online. But yeah, that's about it for who worked on it. I guess I'll go over the plot now. So it starts off in 12th century Japan. There's a guy that's pretty much Stan Lee, walking around with a cart. Yeah, see, it's just literally Stan Lee. Anyways, he's walking around with a cart, and it's got like these two basket things in them. And this bandit named Yamato ambushes him and tries to rob him or whatever. And Dunstan, that's the name of the guy with the cart or whatever. I'm just gonna refer to him as Stan Lee, since he looks just like Stan Lee. But anyways, he mentions how the bandit guy asks something about what's in the cart, and he mentions how he's got these super advanced mechanical boys that he made in the cart, and if they get activated or whatever, it's gonna start like some really long fight. And the reason he made them is to determine which is stronger between good and evil. The one that embodies ultimate good is Ultimo, who's on the cover of Volume 1. And then the one that embodies ultimate evil is Vice, who's on the cover of Volume 2. Anyways, so they get activated. Ultimo ends up bonding with Yamato, the bandit. And so the fight starts, and then it skips ahead to 21st century Japan, and there's a high schooler named Yamato who is more or less the reincarnation of the first guy. And he's walking to school one day with a friend, and they end up stopping at an antique shop, and they find Ultimo in like a display case or something, and he gets activated, and then the present day Yamato gets dragged into the fight between good and evil that Stan Lee had set up. And aside from Ultimo and Vice, he made other Karakuri Doji that also embody different traits of good and evil, and he sent them throughout different points in time since he's from the future, and other people from like different points in time that were partnered with the different doji, they were also reincarnated into the present. And yeah, like it's pretty standard shonen stuff, or like something that you would find in your standard shonen work. You'll probably see in Ultimo if you've read any other shonen. But I will say that the first 6 volumes are like pretty standard stuff. It's your usual typical good versus evil type of story, where the where like at first the different masters on both sides are trying to defeat each other on the opposing sides, but then well, I'm not sure this would really count as a spoiler, but from after volume 6, pretty much in volume 7, there's a bit of a change in the direction the story goes in, and it becomes more than your standard good versus evil story. Like, it's still the overarching theme or plot or whatever the word is I'm trying to think of, but it becomes more along the lines of Stanley telling each of the doji masters that they have to try and convert the other their opponents to their side, and whoever has the most people on whichever side at the end of the big fight or whatever that he set up, those people are going to be the winners. So after that, it yeah, like from volume 7 on to I guess volume 12, maybe 11, it becomes more than just like a standard good versus evil story. But there's also time travel involved. I won't say how many times it happens or when it happens, but it's not the confusing kind of time travel because not really much gets changed, I guess, for the most part. Also, each doji has a different ability. Like, actually, I forgot what most of the abilities were, but yeah, each one has a different ability, and each doji and their master can combine and make combine into a big mech. And going by the character files and some of the dialogue that's said throughout the story, the look of each mech varies depending on a doji master's personality. And I definitely like his mechanical design for the mech forms. I would definitely like to see Hiroyuki Takei working on a mecha anime for the mechanical designs, at least. As far as the ending goes, I'm honestly not sure how to feel about it. For me, it felt abrupt, if I had to put it in one word. I don't think it was necessarily a bad ending. The ending just happens. It's definitely a happy ending. Like, a lot of people get off on a good end. I mean, a lot of people's story arcs end on a good note, I guess. Let's see. All right, since Ultimo was published in Jump Square, it was a monthly series, so the chapters are longer than 20 pages. There's like about 4 to 5 chapters per volume. One thing that I do like about the volumes is there's usually, well, yeah, all of them have a color image on the first 2 pages. There's Stanley wearing a yukata, so that's cool. Another thing I like is that... Wait, where is it? Oh, it's probably volume 2, I think? Oh, wait, no. Like, for about half of the volumes, like, I want to say the first 5 volumes, they usually have one of those little forward things from the mangaka or whatever that you can find in a lot of English volumes. And for Ultimo, for its volumes, they have Stan Lee saying something about working on Ultimo or whatever he was doing at the time whenever a volume released. And I also like how the covers are the kind where the volume covers are the kind where part of it has like a different texture. So if you reflect light onto the volume, you can see like a reflection. So yeah, other than the ending just being abrupt and just happening, I definitely enjoyed Ultimo. I initially read something for it in English issues of Shonen Jump back when that was still in print. And then I started buying the volumes. I got the first 5 volumes, and then I borrowed volume 6 from a friend. Excuse me. And after that, I didn't get a chance to buy volume 6 until 2016 or 2017. And then I got volume 7 through 10 for Christmas a few months ago, and my friend Sergio got me volumes 11 and 12 as a late birthday present, like last week, or it was like really recent, so I was finally able to finish reading it. Speaking of the volumes, I wanted to show off the volume covers while I was thinking about it. And each volume just has one of the different doji on the front, and the image spreads to the back. So here's the cover for volume 1. You can see Ultimo's hand on the back. Here's volume 2. It's definitely really colorful stuff, so that's cool. Volume 3. Oh yeah, that's right. The good doji represent like I mentioned, they represent different aspects of good. and the, like, I guess, virtues. I think that's the term. But the evil Doji, here's volume 4. The evil Doji represent the 7 deadly sins, or, well, the ones that aren't vice. Here's volume 5. Volume 6. This is actually the only volume I have in the series that's a used copy. The rest of them are all new. I think, yeah, that's the only one I got that's used. Here's volume 7. Volume 8. Volume 9. And volume 10. Volume 11. And volume 12. The cool thing about volume 12 is that on the inside for the second color page, it's got all the doji in color. So that's cool. Wait, let me bring it closer. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, one thing that I would have liked to be different, at least for the volumes, would be more character bios. Like, they only showed up sometimes. There were 2 spin-off chapters in 2 of the earlier volumes that were, like, done by a different artist, and some of the volumes had volume previews, and some of them didn't for some reason. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I wanted the character bios to show up more often. Like, they only show up in maybe 5 of the volumes, from what I remember. Yeah, not really sure what else to say. I'm thinking if I had finished reading Shaman King before reading this, then I might have had a different opinion on it, since I'm not sure how Hiroyuki Takei's writing style changes between the start and end of Shaman King, or its sequel. But, yeah, maybe my opinion on Ultimo would have been different if I had finished Shaman King before finishing this. But, yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. There wasn't really much I disliked, aside from the ending being abrupt, like I mentioned. Yeah, I think it's good for the most part. I mean, like, the first half, volumes 1 through 6, is the standard shonen stuff you'd find in a lot of things. But after that, volumes 7 through 12, it becomes more than standard shonen, though I'm not sure exactly how many series did a whole try to win over your opponents to your side type of thing. The time travel's not really confusing, so that's a plus in my book. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think of to say about Ultimo. Yeah, I think it's worth checking out. It's interesting, and yeah, not really much I would change aside from maybe the ending just happening. Maybe make it one chapter longer, because the final chapter, it was just like skipping around somewhat at first. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. So, thanks for watching. See ya in the next video, whenever that is. Yeah, thanks for watching.